Don't think about the how you are going to be a millionaire. Just think about how you are going to feel in your new and amazing house. How good, thankful, and joyful you are going to feel. Don't think about the how. Just think how relaxed, joyful, and grateful that you are going to feel. But don't think about the how to erase and to delete bad memories. First of all, let me tell you that our mind tends to exaggerate many things that should not be exaggerated, and to minimize things that are very important. Unfortunately, most of us have one, several, or many bad memories of situations, events, and happenings that have happened to us in our lives, and that we want to forget, because many times those bad memories really do not allow us to be happy and continue with our lives. But how to eliminate them? Per se, it is not possible to eliminate or forget them. The best thing that we can do is to replace them with good thoughts and good memories. But I know that for many people, it is not possible to replace them, since their current situation it's even worse than before. According to experts, something that you can do is to become aware of those memories, and consciously identify, acknowledge, and stop thinking about a bad memory as soon as it appears. Yes, you are going to have it, but you will be able to control it and delete it from your mind as soon as you realize that you are thinking about that memory over and over again. This is another way to take away the power it has over your life and your state of mind. I believe that the best way to delete those bad memories is to face those bad memories, and if it was your fault, accept it. If you are guilty of that situation, accept it. And if it's something that you could not control, that was out of your hands, accept it too. We feel so bad when we think about a terrible event that has happened to us, because we blame ourselves. We think that it was our fault, and that we could do more to avoid that event and situation. We take the blame of that situation and event. We think, if I had done this or that, and we blame ourselves. But the only way it's to forget bad memories, the only way it's acceptance and adaptation. You have to accept. You have to adapt. What is depression and how to overcome it? Without a doubt, depression is the worst emotion that we can ever feel. But as such, depression is not a single feeling. It is the sum of the worst human emotions. Depression is the sum of fear, distress, rejection, despair, sadness, pain, stress, uncertainty, impotence, hate, revenge, disappointment, discouragement, impotence, sadness, resentment, doubts, jealousy, envy, guilt, regret, and remorse. Although the main reason for depression is having lost something very precious and valuable to us. Both one or several objects, a business, a company, a job, an entrepreneurship, a loved one, a pet, or some person. But depression also causes that we lose our own faith, the hope, joy, happiness, peace, tranquility, confidence in ourselves, trust in others, love, even the desire to live and move on. Depression makes us doubt our beliefs in our own life. It also filled us with guilt, fears, and uncertainties. Depression occurs when many terrible situations and events come together in our life. It is as if a rain of terrible problems, events, and situations fell. And as they are so many, we feel overwhelmed and surpassed to be able to support them and to solve them. Depression is also generated when we do not find a reason and motive to move on. Depression makes us doubt and question our beliefs and about God, so it also makes us blame ourselves for the problems, the events, and the situations. But depression is something that cannot be forgotten or eliminated, it has to be overcome. The depression is also caused by the loss of one or several material assets. Also for not having been able to achieve a goal, objective, and expectation. This type of depression is usually less strong than that caused by the loss of a loved one. But even so, it is something that affects a lot, our development and personal improvement, encouragement, and desire to move forward. In the case of the loss of a loved one, several reasons and very strong feelings influence. such as the economic dependence towards that person, the emotional dependence and dependence towards the work or responsibilities of that person. There are 3 causes for the loss of a loved one. When that loved one is lost due to an illness, disease or accident, or when that loved one is taken away with violence, or when the loved one is taken by forced disappearance or kidnapping. When it is due to an illness or a disease, it is a little easier to accept and overcome, since it is understood that it was caused by an illness or disease. You even feel a little peaceful, knowing that they are no longer suffering. But when the loss of a loved one is caused by violence, it is much more difficult to overcome, since feelings of hate and vengeance towards the person or group of people causing the loss intervene, and are very strong, and it can only be overcome until that person or group of people are arrested and punished, which almost never happens unless in Mexico. But when the loss of a loved one is caused by forced disappearance or kidnapping, it causes an enormous anguish. By not knowing if they are alive or dead. It is one of the worst situations that a human being can go through. Since the anguish is caused by uncertainty, and this is increased by the authorities themselves, by looking for an excuse to not do their job, because they try to convince their families that they got together, or they were part of criminal groups, and that's why they disappeared. And this causes in the relatives of the disappeared persons, not only the additional feeling of mourning and anguish, but also that of trying to clean the image of the disappeared being. But that attitude of the authority is despicable and absurd. Depression, even being emotions, thoughts and feelings, cause serious important physical problems, such as the loss of appetite, chronic exhaustion, a significant loss of weight, heart problems, chronic insomnia, respiratory problems, stomach problems, migraine and extreme headaches, etc. Depression makes us wonder, how much can a human being is able to tolerate? How to overcome depression? Like disappointment, depression is not something that can be forgotten, it must be overcome. But how? Although it is true that it is something difficult but not impossible to overcome, we have to analyze all the causes of the depression from a coherent and objective point of view. Depression is something very similar to mourning, and follows the same stages. 1. Stage of denial. That denial can initially cushion the blow of the lack of a loved one and postpone part of the pain, but this stage cannot be permanent, because at some point, it will collide with the reality. 2. Stage of anger. In this phase, feelings of anger, resentment and hatred are characteristic, as well as the search for those responsible or guilty. Anger appears at the same time of frustration and impotence. Because we believe that death is irreversible. That there is no possible solution. And that anger can be projected onto the environment, including other close people. 3. Stage of negotiation. In this phase, people fantasize that the fact of death can be reversed or changed. It is common to wonder, what would have happened if? Or think of strategies that would have prevented the end result, like what if I had done this or that? 4. Stage of depression. Deep sadness and a feeling of emptiness are characteristic of this phase, whose name does not refer to clinical depression, like a mental health problem, but to a set of emotions linked to natural sadness at the loss of a loved one. Some people may feel that they have no incentives, reasons and motives to continue living in their day-to-day without the person who died and may isolate themselves from others and their environment. 5. Acceptance stage. Once the loss is accepted, the bereaved learn to live with their emotional pain in a world where the loved one is no longer there. People come to accept the fact that death is irreversible, that there is no possible solution. And their pain, anger and sadness can be projected onto others. But over time they regain their ability to experience joy and pleasure. But according to experts, people don't necessarily go through all of these stages or in that specific order, so grief can manifest itself in different ways and at different times for each person. The depression caused by the loss of someone. Many times it is not because of the love that was felt towards that person. Many times it is caused by the dependence that one had towards that person, not by love. It can be due to the economic dependency or dependency towards the work of that person performed. I know that even if I, or several people, tell you that if you are still alive, then you have to continue living. I know that for many people this is not going to be easy at all. Since when we lose something so precious and valuable, without a doubt our life changes completely, and we try to find something that covers that enormous void that the loss of a loved one leaves. But you have to try. It is very important that you seek the accompaniment and help of specialized people. In all countries, there are free telephone helplines, since many times it is such a great weight that sometimes we cannot overcome it ourselves. Without doubt, depression and all the associated emotions and feelings fill us with a lot of anguish, pressure, and tension, and like everything in the universe, you have to release that tension before exploding. That's why, if you want to cry, then cry. If you want to scream, then scream. But don't deny how do you feel. Do not deny or suppress your feelings and your own emotions. Release your emotions. This means that, don't lock your emotions and your feelings inside of you. Release them. No matter what they are. And that will make you feel more relaxed, calm, and happy. Depression makes us wonder, how much can a living creature can tolerate? Depression makes us wonder, how much can a human being can tolerate? Depression makes us wonder, how far can a living being can tolerate? Resignation, it's not the solution. Do not keep your feelings inside of you. Release the pressure and the tension that you have, so you can feel better and that you be able to overcome it. But at the end, the only way to overcome depression it's to acceptance and adaptation. But there's really no possible solution to death. Death, it's really definitive. It's really no possible solution to death. The addictions. The definition of addiction, it's the excessive, uncontrollable, inexplicable, and insatiable taste towards a substance, object, sensation, person, emotion, or a thing. It is the taste beyond the normal, for something, which causes cravings and anxiety to feel that sensation, emotion, affect, and pleasure. But the addictions are not towards the substances or objects, but to the pleasure, affect, emotions, and sensations that they causes in us. That is why alcoholics do not care what type or brand of alcohol they drink, or if it is vodka, tequila, whiskey, beer, or whatever, since they all cause the same stupid effect. Likewise, drug addicts do not care if it is cocaine, ecstasy, marijuana, crystal, fentanyl, thinner, or whatever, since they all cause the same effect. But in all cases that pleasure it's temporary, that is why it becomes an obsession and addiction to want and desire always more. Many people feel that they have no control over their thoughts and actions, like people addicted to drugs and alcohol, but this is not true. All our actions, words, and thoughts come from our mind and they can all be controlled. Addicted people have no willpower and are cowards to accept the damage they cause the most to their families and to their loved ones. And in the end, they like to be like that. They enjoy consuming alcohol and drugs, and I don't think that they really want to change. The real problem of addictions it's towards the people who surround an addicted person. Because all the addictions cause anxiety and stress, and this makes the addicts to look for any way to satisfy that anxiety. That's why they are willing to steal and are capable of anything to get those substances. They are willing to steal and to damage even their own families to get those stupid substances. That's why they cause a lot of damage to their families, since it becomes their only priority to satisfy that anxiety at any cost. But you have to understand that any addiction can be overcome. You only have to really be willing to want to overcome them. But truly, it is almost impossible to cure an addiction. Therefore, the best thing it's prevention. What it's destiny. It really exists. The definition of destiny it's a supernatural being or force that controls and decides the actions, events, situations, occurrences, and results of all living beings, celestial bodies, of all the energies, the forces, and the matter on the entire universe. It is a being or a group of beings who decide everything that has happened, happens, and will happen in the whole universe. That every minute and every day of our lives, it is as if we were only fulfilling the designs that someone else has already decided. Many people believe in destiny. But I do not believe in destiny, because all the living beings in the universe have the freedom to choose and decide the actions and the path that we want to take. Thus, we can also see that uncontrollable events happen in the universe, which affect and influence other bodies, forces, energies, and time, so that from one event, it affects and influences another, and that to another, and so on infinitely, like a domino effect. I know that every decision we make will have a repercussion, both bad and good, but that we have the freedom to choose, the freedom to decide. Even if destiny exists, then it would also apply to all living beings, forces, energies, and all of the objects in the universe. I feel that destiny does not exist, that it is a concept created as an excuse to not reaching our goals. I feel that the simple fact of being alive, of breathing, of moving, of thinking, and of being conscious, makes us divine beings, and we affect and influence everything in the universe, and that we must only learn to use the power of our mind to manipulate everything. And be able to be happy. Because we are divine beings. Also, if you feel that your life has been bad, unfair, and full of pain and sadness, and you believe that it has been caused by the divine intervention of God or someone else, you can also curse them. Since nobody escapes the divine justice. Nobody. Although I feel and know that it's a divine force. God, it's a force, not a being. Make your own destiny. What is fear? Fear is the main enemy of everything good. Fear is the main enemy of the reality, love, happiness, joy, personal improvement, success, winning, peace, tranquility, and to liberty. Fear is the most powerful feeling and emotion that we can feel. It is even more powerful than hate and love. Fear doesn't let us to be happy. The definition of fear: it's the sensation of anguish caused by the presence of a real or imaginary danger. It is something unexplainable and uncontrollable. But fear, it's something towards a situation that is not real. I mean the feeling of fear, it's real. Fear is real, but it is towards something that even though it is possible, it still does not exist. But you can make it a reality, with the power of your own mind. With the powerful power of your own imagination. Fear, it's towards something that's still, it's not real. Fear, it's something that greatly affects our physical and mental health. It stops us in our development and personal overcoming. It is not that there are many fears, fear is the same in all cases. But we create fear towards an infinity of situations and events. The fear. It is something very powerful. And it affects us enormously in our physical and mental health, since it does not let us be calm and in peace, which is something necessary for our body, to regenerate our cells and have strong defenses to avoid diseases. There is fear of an infinity of situations, like the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of rejection, the fear to death, the fear of losing, the fear of pain, the fear of poverty, the fear to lose, fear of diseases, the fear of earthquakes, the fear of being robbed, the fear of change, the fear to the unknown, the fear of living, etc. But all these fears are towards something that, even though if it is possible, they're not real, yet. Our imagination, it's so powerful, that it can create fears, and makes them come true. Let me tell you that our mind tends to exaggerate situations that should not be exaggerated, and to minimize situations that are important. Do not be afraid of something, that even if it's possible, it's still not real. Fear entails submission and obedience. To eliminate your fears, you must analyze them and realize truly how probable they are, or if you are exaggerating them. Yes, everything it's possible. But how probably it is? As in the case of the COVID pandemic, how real was it? We saw the news and images about this disease and its consequences on the news, and this filled us with fear, and the governments forced us to lock ourselves in our houses and obey. And this fear had never been seen in the history of humanity. And this fear caused millions of jobs and businesses to be lost throughout the world, as well as the savings that millions of people had. But how real was this fear? As you can see, fear it's very, very powerful. And it can be used to control millions of people. But fear is accepted or rejected by each one of us. Likewise, fear is created by each one of us. Even many people are afraid to express love towards their sons or daughters, towards their wife and their loved ones, because they are afraid to express their feelings, they are afraid that this love will not last, and that something bad will happen, and that is why they do not express their feelings. How to overcome and eliminate fear? Even though fear is an instinct that is deeply rooted in our mind and DNA, it can still be overcome and eliminated. But even so, fear keeps us alive. Fear it's an idea, it is a thought, it is an illusion, which activates the feeling of anguish in ourselves. To overcome your fears, is it necessary, first, to identify, recognize and accept what are you afraid of? And analyze the real probabilities that what you fear, will become a reality. Yes, everything it's possible, but how probable it is. It is not right that all of your life, you live it being afraid of something that even though it is little or very possible to happen, even so, it has not happened to you, yet. Since as I had told you, fear does not allow us to be relaxed, you'll be calm and in peace, and the fear clouds our view and mind. And this can greatly affect our physical and mental health. All fears are towards something that even though it is possible, has not happened to you yet. To eliminate and overcome your fears, you must be strong, brave and have faith and hope. You have to be strong, brave and determined. You have to be positive, intelligent, hopeful, strong and brave. Analyze your fears and eliminate them. Fear uses a lot of energy from yourself, that's why you feel so tired, when you are afraid. Use that same force and energy that you use when you are afraid, to attracting good fortune, good luck, wealth and everything that you desire. Use the same energy and force. The fears that you have are an illusion to something that even though it is possible, it still has not happened to you yet. When those fears become real, then they become a situation that you have to solve. But in the meantime, they're not real. And as long as it doesn't happen, it's just a fear, it's just an illusion, it's just an idea. And you should not fear what has not happened to you. Take care of your fears after they are real. If they become real. If. Do not think or focus on bad things. Fear it's the main enemy of reality, success, good fortune, good luck, love, happiness, peace, tranquility and liberty. The most effective way to overcome fear it's the risk analysis, which we humans have as an instinct. When you are afraid of something, whatever it is. Like. Start a new business. Ask for a raise. Find a new job. Fear of a person. Fear of speaking to the person that you like. Fear of leaving your house. Fear of a zombie attack. Fear to the person that you like. Etc. You have to analyze this. What's the worst thing that it could happen? What is the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst that could happen? What is the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst that could happen? What is the worst thing that could happen? Think and analyze deeply in your own mind, what is the worst thing that it could happen? You have to analyze absolutely all the causes and consequences. If you are afraid of doing something, do it with fear, but do it. Remember that our mind tends to exaggerate things that should not be exaggerated and to minimize things that are too important. Think and analyze the worst possible situation. What could happen, and you will realize that it is not so bad or important. And so, you will overcome your own fears. Yes, everything it's possible. But how probably it's? Yes, everything it's possible, but how probable it is. Being brave it's to doesn't being afraid. To be brave it's to be afraid and still, face the problems and the consequences. To overcome your fears. Do what you fear. Do what you are scared of. Over and over again. And so you will eliminate your fears. Do what you are afraid of, over and over and over again, until you realize that it is not so bad, and that you realize yourself that you exaggerate that fear. What is the biggest fear? The fear to die. Or the fear to living. Fear cannot be a race. You have to get over. Hate, fear, and revenge are poison for the soul. Fear, it's the worst enemy of all good. Fear, it's the enemy of freedom. When you manage to overcome the fear to death, then you will not fear anything. When you overcome the fear to death, then you will not be afraid to anything. But even that fear, it's something bad. Even so, fear, keep us alive. Get over your fears. Love, hope, faith, and happiness can defeat the fear. Yes, I know that sometimes a lot of problems come together, which make us feel as if we are in a pit with no exit. That we feel overwhelmed and hopelessness, that no matter how much we think, we do not find a solution. And this depresses us, and anguish, and makes us feel bad, anguished, and sad. But absolutely everything has a solution. One way or another. Everything. Absolutely everything. There is always, always, always a solution for everything, there always is. Always. Perhaps the solution it's not easy or cheap. Perhaps the solution it's difficult and expensive, but there is always, always, always a solution to everything. There always is. Always. Think solutions. Focus on solutions. Talk about solutions. Dream on solutions. Imagine solutions. Everything has a solution. One way or another. Everything. If the problem has a solution, then don't worry, because it has a solution. If the problem has no solution, then don't worry, because the problem has no solution. If the problem has a solution, then fix it. If the problem has no solution, then accept it. What is the value? This important and powerful word has two meanings. The courage or braveness, and the value that you give to an object or person, and to yourself. But the two are very related to each other. The definition of value, it's having the courage, the attitude, and the willpower to face a person, groups of people, or a special situation or problem. Courage or being brave, it's something very, very important for you, to be able to reach and conquer all of your goals and dreams. Yes, I know that many times we feel fear, embarrassed, and shame to face someone, and not necessarily in a physical confrontation. But to face our bosses, the director, or some person or groups of people. To express disagreement and non-conformity with some of their decisions and behaviors, which does not seem right to us. Or to ask them for a salary increase and more appreciation for our work and successes. Or facing someone or a group of people who has insulted and harmed us. But if you want to improve yourself and improve your current situation, it is necessary that you have the courage and the strength to face them and confront them. It is necessary that you overcome your fears and shame. It is necessary that you be brave and strong. May you have a strong and confident attitude towards these people. And that you demand your rights. Be strong, intelligent, and determined in your objective and your desire. Always. Use a lot of energy, bravery, courage, intelligence, and willpower. You have to be physically, mentally, and spiritually strong to face any situation. The value that you give to yourself. It's with the same braveness with which you are going to face others in any situation and problems. But if you don't value yourself, then you will be weak and a coward. If you don't value yourself, then you will never reach all of your goals and dreams. Never. That's why you have to be strong, intelligent, brave, and determined. Always and with whoever you are with. The value of a precious object for us is the value that we give to that object. And it is not directly proportional to the cost or price of that object. This means that even if someone gives a value to an object, it will not be the same value for us. That is, if something is very valuable and precious for someone, perhaps will not be for us. And it is not directly proportional to the price or the cost. since something with a low price can even be appreciated and valued a lot more than something expensive if it was acquired in a difficult and special situation and circumstance, or if it was a gift from a very dear and special person to us. Also, without a doubt, the value of an object can be determined by the difficulty that you had to buy it. Likewise, the value and appreciation for a person does not depend on their appearance, gender, age, race, or the color of their skin. What is your value? How much are you worth? In this world with more than 8 billion people, what is your value? How much are you worth? This is undoubtedly something that each one of us must give to ourselves, based on our feelings and thoughts, and the respect and value that we give to ourselves. It can be for all the material goods that you have achieved in your life, or for your intelligence and knowledge, your attitudes, your attributes, gifts, capabilities, and your talents, and for what you are capable to do. You can help yourself with the comments and appreciation of others towards you. But you must give to yourself your own value. In this world with more than 8 billion people, what is your value? Really, how much do you worth? If you want to be more brave, then you must appreciate and value yourself more. The more that you value yourself, the more courage that you will have. The more that you value yourself, the more brave that you will be. The braveness and courage with which you face the people, situations, and problems. It's with the same value that you give to yourself. Surely you have been afraid of talking to your boss about a raise, and that fear has made you have a low salary for a very long time, since, even though you know that you are doing a very good job and that you deserve to earn more money, you are afraid to face your boss and ask him for that raise. And because of that same fear, you prefer to keep that low salary that you have. But one day, after seeing that it is not enough for you and your family, and that your wife and your children demand more from you, you take the courage to talk to your boss and ask him for that raise that you deserve it so much. And after facing your boss and getting that raise, you realize that the fear that you had was unfounded and was not real, but exaggerated, and you feel very good that you got that raise. And after getting that raise, you feel like you can get everything that you want. And that it's good. And so, it should be. Because our mind exaggerates our fears. Be strong, intelligent, brave, and determined. Always. And with whoever you are with. Our own mind, exaggerate the results. Face all of your problems. Upfront and without fear. No matter the consequences. Our own mind exaggerate the results. Defend all your ideas, all your points of view, all your tastes, and all your decisions. It is very important that you have the strength and the will to defend your ideas, your points of view, your decisions, your tastes, and your beliefs. There is an exercise that can help you demonstrate and understand this. This exercise lasts about 1 hour, but we are going to do it faster. Let's say that I ask you, what is the ice cream flavor that you like the most? And let's say you tell me it's the chocolate one. And I would ask you, why? But why? Why? But why? Why? But why? Why? I would have to ask you more or less 250 times until you told me. I don't know, and I don't care. Why do I like chocolate? I simply know that I like it, that I love it, that it makes me feel good. I don't know or care why, I just know that I like it, that I love it, and I don't care what science or other people say about chocolate. I only know that I like that flavor, that I love it, that it makes me feel happy, well, and satisfied. That it gives me so much pleasure. And that is the only thing that matters to me. And yes, that's the right answer, even if you cannot explain the why. That's what you like, what gives you pleasure and makes you feel good and satisfied. And you have to defend your ideas, your points of view, your tastes, your beliefs, and your decisions. It doesn't matter if others like it or not. The most important thing is that you like it and that it makes you feel good. What do you want to be happy? It's surely very different from what others wants to be happy. Because each one of us has different dreams, objectives, and expectations. We are not the same. Each one of us seeks different things. Therefore, You must defend your desires and your decisions, no matter what they are. Perhaps, if you tell someone else about your dreams and your desires, and that person does not like what you like, and begins to criticize you and to judge you for your desires. But you don't have to feel bad about what you want, that's your desire, despite what others may think. Therefore, do not allow that others to decide for you. For example, you could say that you no longer want to work, that you want to have a lot of money, and to travel around the world, and to buy everything that you want. But most of the people will tell you that it's impossible, that first, you have to work a lot all of your life to get what you want. But those are their conditions, which they are imposing on themselves. Not yours. In other words, each one of us has our desires and dreams, but that each one is imposing their conditions to obtain their own desires and dreams. But you must defend your desires. Do not impose conditions on yourself. Only you know what you want. Only you know what you want. Only you know what you want to be happy. Only you know what makes you happy. Only you know what gives you happiness. Only you know everything that you have suffered. You have to understand and accept that everything it's important. That everything matters. Absolutely everything. Every action that we do and have done. Every word that we have said, and that we are saying. Every thought that we have tough, and that we are thinking. Every decision that we have make, every decision that we are taking, and every decision that we will make. Every path that we have choose, and have chosen. Every feeling that we feel, and have felt. Everything matters. Everything. Everything it's important. Everything influences and affects the universe and our lives. Everything. Absolutely everything. What it's, an objective, a goal and an expectation. These three powerful and important words are different, but they are very related to each other. A goal. A goal it's reaching and exceeding a desire that you desire. It's like getting across the finish line in a race. It's like, my goal is to have a 2023 car. But the goals are what you want in general, it is not something specific. It could also be, my goal is to finish university. As you see, the goals it's something that you want, but in general, since you are not being specific in what it's exactly that you want. For example, your goal is to finish the university, but you are not specifying if you are going to finish it with an average of 10 or with an honorable mention from the university, or that if you are going to be the top best student of all of your class. A goal it's something you want but very generalized. An objective. In this case, an objective is a specific goal. A specific goal. Although this word refers to an object, it is also applied to objects, situations, and achievements. In the case that we saw of the car, the objective it's not to have a 2023 car, the objective would be, my objective it's to have a 2023 Volkswagen Jetta, white color, with 18 inches wheels, with black leather interiors and sunroof. My goal it's to finish the university having the best score of all, the best qualification of all my class and to graduate with honors from the university. See. Although they are very related, they are very different. And the problem of most people it's that they have a lot of goals, but not clear and specific objectives, that is why they do not achieve them. Because they do not know exactly what they want. But to reach and overpass all of your own objectives, you have to be very strong, very brave, very intelligent, and very objective. You have to know exactly what it's that you want. Expectations. Expectations are also closely related to the goals and to the objectives. Expectations it's what you expect to feel once you have reached your goals and your objectives. What are you expecting to feel after reaching your goals and your objectives? That's the expectations. Expectations are the feelings that you expect to feel once you have achieved your goals and your objectives. Example. Once that I buy my 2023 Volkswagen Jetta, and when I get into my car, then I'm going to feel extremely proud, good and excited, and I'm going to pick up my girlfriend and I'm going to take her for a ride and to dinner, and I'm going to feel so good and proud, driving my 2023 Volkswagen White Jetta, with 18 inches wheels, leather interiors and sunroof. And the people are going to see me driving my new car, and then I'm going to feel so excited, proud and great. Or, when I finish the university with the best score of all, and graduate with honors, and an honorable mention from the university. I am going to feel so proud and good, and I am going to look at my parents and see on their faces the pride that they will feel. Because I finished the university with the highest score of all, and when I go to a job interview, I'm going to feel sure, because I got the highest score and graduate with honors from the university, and they are going to see that, and appreciate it, and they are going to give me a very good salary and many benefits, etc. But the goals and objectives cannot be applied to people. Only the expectations. Because no person it's an object. It's like when you buy your car, if there's something that you don't like about it, then you can modify or change it until it meets your expectations. But you cannot modify or change a person. It can't be done. It is not possible. The expectations that we create towards a person must be realistic for the relationship to work. Usually we create the expectations or what we expect about the other person. We never create the expectations of what I have to change to please her for this relationship to work. When it is necessary to speak about two people, it is better to start with oneself. We create the expectations towards the other person, that is, what do we expect from the other person? A very common expectation and the one that fails the most. It's to expect that the other person will love us, no matter what we do. It will doesn't matter if I arrive home every day, at 3 in the morning drunk, she will always loves me. She will always will wait for me. And it doesn't matter what I do to her, she will always loves me, and she will prepare my food every day, no matter what I do. She will always loves me. You see what an absurd expectation. Since in a relationship, you have to give in order to receive. Be strong, brave, intelligent and determined. Face all your problems head on and regardless of the consequences. Value yourself, appreciate yourself and respect yourself. If you want to control the world and the universe, you must control yourself, first. First you must learn about yourself. First you must recognize yourself. You have to identify yourself, first. You have to accept you, and to love yourself. You have to know yourself. And you have to be aware and identify all of your thoughts, all of your feelings, all of your emotions, all of your words and all of your actions. Because everything starts from within yourself. You have to identify, recognize, accept and love your mind. Overcoming and winning over others, it's okay. It's an instinct. What is impossible? The definition of impossible is something that is not possible to do, reach or achieve. Something that cannot be, that can't exist, happen, achieve or been realized. But does this really exist? Is this really true? Is there really something impossible in the universe? Impossible, it's what you consider to be impossible for yourself. I believe that the impossible, it's the definition that each one of us gives to this word. I mean, that each of us has the definition of what is impossible for yourself. What it's impossible for you, somebody else, it's already achieving it. Also what you do, for others it's impossible. In theory, everything it's impossible. Until you, or someone else makes it possible. Makes it a reality. For this reason it is very important that you analyze yourself, what is, that you consider impossible, for yourself. For a winning and triumphant mind, there it's really nothing impossible, just a little more hard. The super billionaires have shown us that what for many was impossible, they are already or achieving it. In the universe, there is no and absolute zero. This means that everything it's possible. Nothing is impossible. Nothing. Therefore it is very important that you reconsider what you consider impossible, and that you no longer use this word as an excuse to not achieving all of your dreams and all of your goals. What it's impossible for you. What do you consider impossible? Believe me, everything it's possible. Nothing it's impossible. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What it's the beauty. The definition of beauty it's the involuntary and inevitable feeling of pleasure, delight, taste, desire, emotion and satisfaction, which it's caused by seeing and looking to a set of features, factions, shapes, silhouettes, voluptuousness, symmetry, colors, intensity and strength, that we perceive through our sight, touch, ears, smell, our skin, our body and our extrasensory capacity. But beauty can be divided into three aspects. Living beauty, the beauty of the objects, and the extrasensory beauty, live beauty. This type of beauty refers to living beings, and it could not be classified only towards men or women, since in nature, there are flowers and animals with an extraordinary beauty. Also, the nature has a magnificent beauty. In the case of men and women, beauty refers to the body and face of certain people, which possess very beautiful, symmetrical, round and extraordinary physical traits, factions and characteristics. But we humans allow ourselves to be impressed, influenced and manipulated too much by the physical beauty of other people. And that causes in us the obsession to having that body, or to be like them. The problem is that both these people and the big companies take advantage of this to sell us products. And these people also take advantage of their physical beauty to humiliate, show off, mistreat and take advantage and to manipulate others due to their physical beauty. Do not be so impressed or influenced or manipulated so much by the external physical beauty of the people. Yes, they may be very beautiful on the outside, but very ugly and horrible in the inside. As the Bible says. Matthew 23:27. Hypocrites. Because on the outside they are like sepulchres whitewashed and adorned with flowers, beautiful indeed. But inside they are full of all the filth of this world. I have seen the true beauty, seeing a poor father embrace his son with such strength and love. I have also seen beauty when fathers and mothers who, although they are not handsome, get up very early every day, to go to work, to bring food to their sons and daughters, for them to eat, and try to give their children a better future. Also the people who help poor people or little animals, when you do a good deed for someone else, or when little animals helps, protect and love each other. The beautiness of the good actions towards other people and to animals. For me, that is the true beauty. The true beauty is that of the soul, the heart and of the good deeds and actions. Not the physical beauty. The beauty of objects. This type of beauty it's towards objects, but also towards crafts, jewelry, science, paintings, literature, sculpture, architecture, dance and even towards engineering works. Men are really capable of creating with their own hands objects of such beauty that cause in us those feelings and emotions of pleasure and excitement when we see them. Also when we look up and see the incredible beauty of the sky, the stars, the galaxies, the moon and for our beautiful and powerful sun. When we turn around and see the exuberant and magnificent beauty of the nature of our incredible and wonderful planet. Although beauty is not exclusive to the sensory sense of sight, since our ears can appreciate the beauty of the music, of the singers, of the rain, of the waves and of the nature. Men are truly capable of creating so much beauty. Because what is a singer without a song? What is a song without the lyrics? What is the lyrics without the writer? The one who takes a pen or a pencil and captures his feelings, what he sees and his experiences on a sheet of paper. The extrasensory beauty. This type of beauty is what we perceive not only with our eyes, but also what we perceive with our ears, our body, our skin, our palate and our touch. Like music, sculpture, food, etc. But it also refers to the beauty of the feelings and emotions of living beings and to that powerful energy so beautiful that we receive from the whole universe, but that we do not know how to explain or know where it comes from. How to measure beauty? This is simple. Beauty it could be measured by the excitement, feelings, sensations, emotions, pleasure and the desire that they provoke on you. What perhaps for some will cause many sensations, perhaps not for you. This means that each of us appreciates beauty in different ways. Beauty has many forms. I know that you have seen many people, mostly women, that due to their body and appearance, they enjoy an easy and beautiful life full of luxuries and wealth, and that the reason for having that kind of life, it's not because of their intelligence, nor because they help poor and needy people, nor because they are very religious. The reason it's because of her body and beauty. And I know that this is very unfair, outrageous, and even offensive to many people. But that's the way it is. Since in this world, it seems that physical beauty it's much more important than the beauty of the feelings, the intelligence, the good thoughts and the good actions. It seems that in this world, physical beauty it's much more important than the beauty of the soul, the mind, the heart and the good feelings. What a shame. And I know that this makes us feel bad, powerless, jealous and envy, but as I have already told you, even if we do not have that type of body or beauty, we do have everything that we need to achieve all of our goals and all of our dreams. Do not measure your beauty through your body. Measure your beauty through your feelings, your thoughts and your good actions towards others. The true beauty is that of the soul, that of the heart, that of our good actions and of our feelings. Not just our body. Don't let yourself be exploded by beautiful people, just because of their appearance. There are many people who, because of their beauty, will try to exploit you, manipulate you and take advantage of you. And that they would not even want to pay you. Never allow it. Do not let yourself be impressed or influenced, or manipulated so much by the outer beauty of people. Yes, maybe they are very beautiful and gorgeous on the outside, but ugly and horrible on the inside. As the Bible says. Hypocrites, because on the outside they are like sepulchres whitewashed and adorned with flowers, beautiful in truth. But inside they are full of all the filth of this world. The true beauty it's that of the soul, the mind, that of our heart and that of our good actions. May the beauty of your body reflects the beauty of your soul and your heart. May your beauty be the reflection of the beauty from your mind, your heart and your soul. Perhaps it could be a sin that because of your laziness, you'll die, without knowing and reaching how much strength and beauty your body is capable to achieve. What its responsibility? The definition of responsibility it's the state or fact of having a duty to deal with something or of having control over someone. The state or fact of having a duty to protect and take care of something or somebody. The duty and the job of taking care of something or someone. The opportunity or ability to act independently and make decisions without authorization. The job and duty to someone or something. Are you a responsible man or woman? As in our jobs and our house, we have responsibilities to someone, it's part of our human nature, to take care of something and someone. Been responsible, it's something that makes us a better person. As fathers and mothers, we have a huge responsibility towards our sons and daughters. To provide them food, a house, clothes and love and tendrils. Responsibility, it's to give and to receive. If your job it's to take care of something, then you'll be rewarded for your job, with a salary. But when you're a father or mother, it's really no compensation for your job. Just that you can feel good, that your sons and daughters have a good and happy life. That's your compensation. To be successful, and to achieve all of your goals and dreams, you need to be a responsible man, towards the job and duties that you have. You need to exceed all the responsibilities that you have. I once hear something that it took me 2 years to understand. She said, that every change it's good. But after analyzing this, for a lot of time, I come to the conclusion that that's not true. All changes are not good. Not all changes are good. Only the changes that we planned are good. And it's not only to change. It is to improve. Not to change. To improve. What is motivation? The definition of motivation is a set of reasons, motives and purposes, to encourage and to boost a person or ourselves, to achieve and accomplish something extraordinary with a sense of urgency. If I told you that you have to get $10,000 in 3 days, Surely you would give me 1,000 excuses and reasons, and you would tell me and you would think yourself that it's impossible, and that I am crazy. But if I told you that you have to get $10,000 in 3 days, to pay for a surgery for your daughter, or for your mother, or for your wife, or for your puppy, then you will get those $10,000 in less than 2 days. But why? If you already said that was impossible. It is as if our mind and subconscious woke up and activated in a very powerful and special way. But why? Our mind needs and seeks reasons and motives to achieve special objectives. In general, we do not force our mind to achieve something that is not urgent at the time, and we believe and settle for what we have, and what we wish for, we keep it only as a wish, and we do not really look for the way to make it come true. Since it is somewhat more comfortable for us, but by thinking in this way, we are limiting our potential. Since, as in the case that I have just shown you, we are capable of achieving what we consider impossible, when the motivation and the purpose change, and they become urgent. In other words, we are capable of achieving what we considered impossible, when the reason and the purpose changes, and they become urgent. But we should not wait for such terrible situations to take out and use that potential that we have hidden within ourselves. There are things from our mind that our heart does not understand. There are things from our heart that our mind does not understand. What is success? Success is a thought and a feeling. The definition of success: it's reaching, obtaining, achieving, acquiring and exceeding a goal, an objective, and an expectation. It is overcoming an adversity. It is winning, overcoming, conquering, defeating and dominating another person, or a group of people, in a competition, challenge, duel, contest, dispute, fight, challenge or a war. Being successful is having success in all areas of our life. Success: it's winning. And winning: it's success. Success is undoubtedly one of the most powerful thoughts and feelings that we can feel, that is why we are always looking for it. Our brain releases chemicals such as endorphin, serotonin, oxytocin and adrenaline, which produce us a great and a very powerful feeling of pleasure and satisfaction every time that we win and have success. But to achieve the success, your attitude: it's more important and powerful than your skills and knowledge. Success is both personal and individual, as well as a group or team. Success entails and attracts from others the superiority, respect, prestige, fame, notoriety, popularity and admiration from others towards ourselves. And it causes in us the feelings of joy, pleasure, pride, superiority and satisfaction. Without a doubt, success is one of the most powerful thoughts and feelings that we can achieve. And to achieve this, it's more important and powerful. Your winning attitude. The attitude of getting it. The attitude of achieving and overcoming everything. The attitude that you are better than the others. An attitude of superiority, of being better than others. More than your skills and knowledge. Even if what I am going to tell you seems wrong to you, you always have to have and maintain an attitude of superiority and that you are better than the others. To win. Always. So you can achieve everything that you want. Success: it's also overcoming your own fears and terrors. Success: it's exceeding your own limits. Success: it's also learning from your mistakes. Success is improving yourself and your family, overcoming and improving your current situation. Success: it's improving yourself every day. Success: it's to feeling happy. Success: it's feeling confident that you can achieve everything that you want, even when everything seems against you. But, as long as you have a success mind, a success attitude, a winning attitude, and that you feel that you are able to achieve everything that you want, then you will attract powerful forces and energies from the universe, which they will help you to achieve it. Always trust in yourself. Always believe in yourself. Improve yourself every day. Success: it's to overcoming any problem, challenge and adversity that comes into your life. Success: it's obtaining material goods. A big success: it's the sum of many smaller successes. which, when they put together, make a big success. In other words, a great company or a great idea is the sum of many smaller ideas and successes. But many times we minimize our own successes, and that is why we feel unsuccessful and a failures and losers. Success, it's winning. Winning, it's success. Successful people never minimize their successes, on the contrary, they maximize them, and they accumulate them. To feel successful, minimize your failures and maximize your successes. I know that there are many people who see their current situation, their house, their shortcomings and their poverty, and believe that it is impossible to overcome their current situation and feel successful. But even if your current situation is terrible, even so, you can still improve it. You just have to change your way of thinking and your attitude. Did you know that there is the fear of success? Surely you have or had very good ideas, but you have not even tried them, due to the laziness and the fear of failure. The fear to fail. Unfortunately, many people, in their life, do not manage to develop or identify their essence or their nature, or use their gifts or their attributes or their talents or their aptitudes. You have to learn to recognize, identify and develop your essence and your own nature, your aptitudes, your talents, your gifts and your attributes. A successful person overcome his own fears and laziness. Don't be afraid of success or failure. There is nothing more enviable than the self-confidence. If you feel sure and confident of yourself, and if you are happy, then people will envy you and they will want to be with you. And this self-confidence, you can have it, even if you're still not a millionaire yet. You can achieve the self-confidence by accepting you, by loving you, and to respect yourself just the way you are. That you accept what you don't like about yourself. But that you accept, respect and appreciate yourself just the way you are. And that you don't pay too much attention to what you still haven't achieved. But that you can see what you are capable to achieve. You have to know that the worst failure of all, it's to not even trying. Feel important. If you feel important, then people will treat you with respect. But if you have, and maintain a success and winning attitude, then it's much more likely that you will achieve it. Always feel successful, and that you can achieve everything. Absolutely everything. Winning, it's perhaps the most powerful satisfaction that we can feel. Release the tension and the stress that you have, with exercise or however you want. But release your stress and your tension. So for your mind to clears, and that you can think better, and make a better decision. Don't be mediocre like the saying. The important thing is not to win, but to compete. But a successful and winning mind would think. The important thing is not to compete, the important thing is to win. Success, it's winning. Winning, it's success. Success, it's to win. Feel sure about yourself. Always and everywhere and with whoever you are with. And to achieve it, appreciate yourself. Respect yourself. Love yourself. Identify yourself. Accept yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Have confidence in yourself. Admire yourself. Have faith in yourself. Have hope in yourself. Love yourself. Know yourself. Know yourself. Know yourself. No one is perfect. No one. But you. Pursue and achieve the excellence. Everywhere and in everything that you do, and in yourself. Always improve yourself. Everything has a solution. One way or another. Always. It's always a solution for everything, there always is. It may not be easy or cheap, it may be difficult and expensive, but there is always a solution to everything. Always. Always have faith and hope. Always. Success, it's winning. Winning, it's success. Always improve yourself. Your faith and hope can move mountains. Your attitude is what controls the universe. The more successful that you feel, the more successes and achievements that you will get. Believe in yourself. Always and everywhere. And with whoever you are with. Maintain a successful and winning attitude. Most of the time. Always feel successful and that it's nothing that you cannot achieve. These are the enemies of the success: fear, laziness, weakness, disbelief, doubts, indecision, and to not believing or trusting in yourself. The recognition and appreciation for the material objects and material goods, it's also very good. Because in this way, you will attract many more goods to yourself. That is why it is very important and necessary that you pamper yourself, that you buy the things that you want, that you treat yourself good. Since this will encourage you and will obligate you to improve yourself, to earn more money and to improve your situation. Do not stay with the desire to buy something for yourself. If you can, then buy it. And so, your mind and your subconscious will look for the way for you to earn more money, to be able to buy a lot more things. And so that you can feel happier, joyful, prouder and satisfied. Because when you stay with the desire to buy the things that you want so much, you are limiting yourself, and this also makes your mind, your objectives and your ambition to limit. But when you buy the things that you want, I don't know why, but you get more money, a raise, a bonus, a batch or money that you didn't expecting. When you buy the things that you want, it is as if you opened your mind to more good things. It is as if you were attracting very powerful forces and energies that will help you to buy more. In the same way, your mind will be forced to work more and improve yourself, so that you can pay for what you bought and that you wanted so much. Maybe I would have to tell you to buy things according to your economic level, according to your salary and to your possibilities. But I once saw a young man who worked, but did not earn much money, and he had a daughter and his wife, but he wants the iPhone 14 Pro Max so much that it become an obsession. And despite his salary, he bought the iPhone that he wanted so much, with credit. And when he had it in his hands, I think he was the happiest man on this world. I think that he was happier than when his daughter was born or when he got married. He was very, very, very happy to have the iPhone 14 Pro Max that he wanted so much, and with which he was obsessed. And in order to pay for the installments of his iPhone 14 Pro Max, he finished high school and a degree, and now he is a supervisor in the company where he works, earning a lot much more money than before. See, when we buy what we want so much, our mind is forced to improve ourselves and to earn more money, in order to pay for what we bought and that we wanted so much. And this will help us, and forces us, to improve ourselves. To improve our situation, to earn more money, and to be more successful. That's why this is a good thing. To buy what you want. Doesn't matter if it's expensive. Because when we buy the things that we wanted so much, even if it is something expensive, but it is something that we want very, very much, this will encourage us and will force us to improve ourselves, to seek more money and to improve ourselves. And it becomes more powerful when you have it in your hands. That is, if you save to buy what you want so much, it is possible that you spend that money in other things, and that you don't buy it. But if you borrow or take out a loan to buy immediately what you want so much, then your mind will be forced to earn more money, improve yourself at work, to study and to train to have a better position at work, and so you be able to pay what you bought, and what you wanted so much. Whether it is a new iPhone, a new car, a watch, or a new apartment. Because when you already have it in your hands, it will make you feel extremely good, happy, satisfied and proud of yourself, and also, several barriers and limits in your mind also will be broken. Since you already have in your hands what you wanted so much. And what, even that you thought, that was impossible for yourself. You have it in your hands. And this will make you a more self-confident, stronger and successful person, and you will be able to achieve all of your dreams, all of your goals and all of your expectations. Since you will force yourself to be better, and to improve yourself, day by day. How to feel successful. I don't know why our mind minimizes the good things that we do during the day, and to exaggerate the bad things that we do. We have many successes in our day-to-day, such as cooking something delicious, helping another person, doing a job that no one else could do, repairing a fault in our car or in our house, creating things, solving problems both at work and on the street or at home, to overcoming a challenge, etc. All of these are successes, and if you identify them, recognize them, and accumulate them in your life, as if they were steps on a ladder, then you will feel very successful. When you see everything that you have achieved in your day to day, and then, what you are able to achieve. But many people minimize their own successes, thinking that someone else also could have done it too, but this is very stupid. Because even if it was like that, even if someone else could have done it, it was you who achieved it. It was you who did it. It was you who achieved it. It was you who overcome the problem. You need to identify, recognize, and accumulate your daily successes, because there are no small successes. As the Bible says, because nobody lights a candle to cover it later with a box. Because no one cuts a piece of cloth from a new dress to fix an old one, because both are spoiled. Because no one puts new wine in old wineskins, new wine goes into new wineskins. It is very important that you celebrate your own successes, even if it is by yourself, but you have to celebrate them. And so, you will achieve and receive a lot more. If you have a very good idea, try it, even if it doesn't work, you will learn a lot from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes, and try again. The great millionaires will tell you that attitude it's more important than the aptitude and the knowledge. That the self-confidence it's most powerful than the knowledge and aptitudes. If you have a winning and successful mind. If you have a winning and successful attitude, it is much more likely that you will achieve it faster. When you start a business or whatever, always feel that you are going to succeed to achieve it. Don't think about losing. Never think that you are going to fail, even if that's possible. Always thinks that you are going to succeed. Always. The problems exist and there are. But there they will continue, if you don't fix them. The attitude that you take to overcome and solve your problems depends on you. If you have a pessimistic attitude, of the victim, of sadness, powerlessness and weakness, then the problems are there, but they will continue to be there. Because that attitude will not let you fix the problems. If you use alcohol or drugs to overcome your problems, that is very silly and stupid, because neither alcohol nor drugs will fix your problems. You will only forget them momentarily, but they will continue there. And you will continue to attract more problems to you. Because the alcohol and drugs will attract more problems to your miserable life. But if you have a positive and winning attitude, of faith, joy and hope, to overcome yourself and any problem that will comes into your way, then the problems will disappear, since you will find the solution to those and all the problems that will come your way. See how a good attitude attracts many good things to you. The attitude of success attracts very powerful forces and energies from the universe. The attitude of winning attracts very, very powerful forces and energies from the universe. Raise your shoulders and always have a successful attitude, and that you can achieve everything. Feel important. And then, you are going to achieve everything. Always and everywhere. Many believes that to have a successful attitude, first, you have to be successful. But first you have to have a successful attitude in order to be successful. The more worthy and deserving that you feel, the faster you will attract and achieve everything that you desire. If you believe that you deserve it, then the universe will obey you. And believe me, that you are worthy to receive and achieve absolutely everything that you desire. Absolutely everything. Feel important. To feel important, walk straight. Raise your shoulders. Walk straight and with proud. Feel important. If you feel important, then people will treat you with respect and admiration. Bowing your head, it's to accepting bad things. It's a sign of defeat. Bowing your head, it's a sign of submission. Don't bow your head. Walk straight. Feel important. Feel successful. Be proud of yourself. I always get what I want. God as a force. The social decomposition. This phenomenon is not new in the history of humanity, but it has become much worse in the last decade. With mobile devices and the social networks, since we find out and see everyday acts of so much cruelty and violence against people, the ecosystem, and animals. And this social decomposition has been greatly accentuated by seeing how social injustice and that brutal and abysmal gap between the rich and the poor, it's getting bigger and bigger every day. Because through social networks, we see how the super millionaires spend their enormous fortunes on so many luxuries, food, drinks, houses, cars, planes, yachts, and so many things, with which the great majority of us only dream of. And also when we see how drug lords, and criminals and even government people, enjoying and show of, all the luxuries, the good food and drinks and the wealth that they have achieved illegally. And this without a doubt, causes enormous social discontent in the great majority of the people, who will barely have enough to survive. And this undoubtedly generates discontent, hate, envy, distrust and jealousy. Seeing that our situation is so precarious, difficult and full of poverty and the lack of opportunities. And this, without a doubt, it's one of the triggers for the fact that social decomposition is so serious in almost all the countries in the world. All this can lead to a social insurrection against the government. Since we can see throughout the social media, in all the world, how the vast majority of people act with so much indifference to situations that they are seeing, in which there are people who are suffering, and they still do not help them, or even care. And this happens in both rich and poor countries. When we see every day, how people are indifferent to situations in which they can help others, but they do not help. And a large part of the blame for this social decomposition lies with the governments. Because when there are cases of so much violence and injustice, people turn to the authorities, since they have the obligation to maintain order and to punish the criminals, but instead, we see how the majority of the governments, especially in poor countries of Latin America, we see how the governments doesn't do nothing to prevent and punish these acts of violence and injustice. Which undoubtedly makes us think that those governments are very incompetent, or that they part of the criminal groups, and that they are protecting the criminals. Which obviously aggravates the social discontent. As in countries like Mexico, in which violence, injustice and cruelty have reached historic levels, but whose president, who has the obligation to protect his citizens, continues with an absurd policy of hugs not bullets. Which causes the criminals to be unleashed, since they see and know that the government will not confront them nor punish them. And this will undoubtedly cause in the people of Mexico to take up the arms to protect their life, and that of their families, seeing the ineptitude and complicity of the Mexican government with the criminal groups. Without justice, there will never be peace. Without justice, there will never be peace. And all this will lead to a social insurrection against the corrupt government. Injustice, inequity, violence, poverty and the lack of opportunities are the main reason of this social decomposition. Poverty, injustice and violence generate a very deep and serious social discontent. And this is increased by the television series on drug traffickers, which show the youth and make them believe that the only way out of their precarious situation, it's through acts of crime, and to being part of these criminal groups. Since they see in these series, wealth and luxuries, and when they see their house, their poverty and their lack of opportunities. This series encourages them to be criminals like them, and encourages drug trafficking, robbery, kidnappings and extortion, as the only way out of their extreme poverty in which they live, and seeing that their governments are so corrupt and incompetent, they are not afraid to being arrested or punished for their crimes. And this social decomposition comes from the family decomposition that suffered by many families. Since the family is the basis of all societies, but the fathers and mothers themselves no longer teach their children the values or good things, since they themselves are alcoholics or consume some type of drug, even in front of their children. As well as their lack of education and values, and the indifference that they show towards the problems and needs of their sons and daughters, and this undoubtedly causes in their children and daughters to not have the support and to not even trust their own parents. Due to their indifference and lack of affection, support and love from their parents towards them. And they look for that affection and love in the streets. Where when they see this gangs and criminal groups. And that they believe that if those criminal groups accepted them, that these criminal groups will care for them. But these criminal groups take advantage of that situation to recruit young people to do acts of violence, just to be accepted by these criminal groups. But even if the freedom to choose of the youth, it's something good and important, the parents must impose their authority to prevent that her sons and daughters to join these criminal groups, and that they fall into addictions, and joining bad influences, which will affect them, their entire life. If the families are bad, then the whole society will also be bad, since the family is the base of the society. Likewise, the lack of education and values, it's one of the main reasons for the social decomposition, since there is no education. The young people and children learn from a broken, aggressive and indifferent society, full of vices, corruption and violence, and youths and children's accept this kind of life because they think that there are no other options. Unfortunately, millions of young people, boys and girls in the world, see their current situation, that they feel hunger and thirst, and suffer from so many deficiencies, lacks, violence and poverty. But they see that there are rich people, they see that not all are poor like them, that there are people who eat delicious food and they drink delicious drinks, whenever they want it, and that they get satisfied. That there are people who lives in big and beautiful houses, who go to good schools, who have lots of clothes and shoes and who do not suffer from violence or mistreatment. And this undoubtedly causes in them to have a huge feeling of sadness, powerlessness, hate, envy, jealousy, anguish and despair. Because they wonder, why, I do not have that kind of life? Why? Why can't I eat delicious food, and drink delicious drinks, whenever I want it, until I'm satisfied? Why? Why the house where I live, it's so ugly and in such horrible place? Why I can't buy clothes and shoes? Why I can't have the things that the rich and wealthy people have? Why I cannot be happy like them? Why? And this causes great despair and anguish in them, and they look for any way to get that wealth, at any cost. And also because they see their mother working so hard to try to bring them food and something. And this cause in them a very deep despair and anguish. And this will make them able to do whatever they have to escape the poverty. They will accept anything to escape the poverty, even by doing illegal and dangerous acts. The social decomposition that we live is caused by 1. Extreme poverty. 2. The lack of education and opportunities. 3. The lack of values. 4. The brutal inequity between the rich and the poor. 5. The total lack of justice. Although it seems that technology and social networks have united us more than ever, we are more separated and feel more alone than in any time of the entire history of humanity. For billions of people in this world, living it's very, very harsh, hard and difficult. It's rather surviving than living. Since we suffer too much from poverty, problems, deficiencies, lacks, hunger, mistreatment, injustice and lack of opportunities. There are a lot more bad moments than good moments. And if you ask the poor people, they will tell you about the bad moments that they have lived, and the bad moments that they are living, because there are too many. Since bad moments are far more outweigh that the few good moments that they have. And there are so few good times that we hardly remember them. Since unfortunately, the bad and ugly moments are too many. A lot much more than the good moments that we have. You have to learn to adapt. You have to adapt. Because truly, I don't know what's the solution is for the so much poverty that there is in this world. The poverty, of course. But the lack of education and leadership. The lack of opportunities. The lack of faith and hope. It's the main cause of this terrible social decomposition. The lack of control. The lack of love. But don't get me wrong. I'm not jealous or against of the super billionaires. Because I know that they have earned his enormous fortunes with his hard work, with their ideas and the stamina that they have. And I know that it's not their obligation to help poor people. But they should. But they need to. Because they can. If I ask to a poor couple, that have 4 sons and daughters, who lives with hunger, violence, on the streets, with fear and hunger, that if they can return in time, would still they would have this 4 sons and daughters? And if the answer was yes, then that means that there are selfish and very bad persons. Because it seems that they do not care about their sons and daughters, that they don't care about the suffering of them, that they don't care about the hunger, the anguish, the fear, the sadness, the pain, the coldness that they feel, and the lack of everything that they suffer. They are very selfish and very bad people, and they should be punished for bringing to this world their sons and daughters only to suffer. That they have sons and daughters, despite of knowing the kind of life that they already have, that should be considered a crime. Because, come on, do they really think that God or somebody was going to help them? That by having so many sons and daughters, there was going to become millionaires, and to live in a mansion full of wealthy and servants? That's so stupid. They're so stupid. They're so selfish. They're bad, stupid and selfish people. They shouldn't have any childrens. It's better for the poor people that they not continue to reproduce themselves. It should not be an obligation, nor even a right, to have sons and daughters, if they are poor and illiterate. It should be considered a crime to have sons and daughters, because they suffer too much, since birth. Because thanking it's more powerful than begging. To reach happiness, may be the first thing that we have to have. It's the body and the gender that we want so much. Because our body it's the only true possession that we really have. And if we can have the gender and the body that we want, then we can reach happiness. Life it's a miracle. But yes, I know that life it's not the same to everybody. Yes, life it's not so wonderful to everyone. Yes, I know that life it's not the same for everybody. Why life it's so hard and harsh for most of us? Why can't we have the same circumstances and opportunities? Why can't we have the gender and the body that we want, to try to reach happiness? Why so few people on this planet has a beautiful and easy life, so full of wealth, joy and abundance? Why the life it's so hard, unfair and harsh to the majority of us? Why? But even so, life it's a miracle. Life it's a opportunity. Yes, I know that life it's so full of poverty, injustice, hard work, violence, hunger, exploitation, mistreatments, inequality, diseases and so many bad things. But in the same way and in the same amount, life it's so full of so wonderful things. Life it's so full of such wonderful feelings and emotions. Life it's full of so wonderful and beautiful things, colors, shapes and forms. Life it's full of such beautiful sounds and songs. Life has the same amount of sad and harsh things. Then, so beautiful and wonderful things, feelings, emotions, colors and sounds. But it depends on you. How do you live it? Life it's so precious and wonderful. Been alive it's a miracle. Believe me.